Back to the explainer, everyone. Today we are breaking down the absolutely massive, and I mean truly unprecedented scale of the upcoming 2026 World Cup. If you're a football fan or honestly just a fan of massive global events, you are going to want to pay close attention to this one. This isn't just another tournament, you guys. It's a monumental shift in how the world's most popular sport crowns its champion. And the absolute best part? It all starts in exactly 2 days. Let's map out the numbers, the brand new format, the host cities, and the superstars so you know exactly what to expect from this historic event.
All right, let's just jump right in with our first mind-blowing number, 48. For basically the entire modern era of the World Cup, we've been completely accustomed to seeing 32 teams compete for glory. Well, not anymore. This time, 48 teams are entering the tournament. That's a massive 50% increase in the field size, meaning 16 extra countries and their millions of passionate fans are finally getting a chance to experience the magic of the World Cup stage. And, well, because we're throwing 16 extra teams into the mix, that means an unprecedented 104 matches of non-stop football. Just let that number sink in for a second. 104 matches. We are talking about wall-to-wall action, multiple games a day, featuring completely different styles of play, different continents colliding, and just incredible drama. It's a true marathon of a tournament. To actually pull off a tournament of this gigantic size, it's all happening across 3 host countries for the very first time ever: the United States, Canada, and Mexico. I mean, we've seen co-hosts before, right? Like Japan and South Korea back in 2002, but we have never seen 3 entire nations join forces to put on a single sporting event of this magnitude. But hey, despite the 3 countries, the 48 squads, and all those matches, it is still all for exactly one trophy, the ultimate prize in global sports. And this incredibly expanded journey kicks off in just 48 hours. Let's compare this massive expansion to the last tournament, looking at 2022 versus 2026. Qatar 2022 was obviously historic in its own right. First World Cup in the Middle East, first played in the winter, and of course, it gave us that legendary Lionel Messi victory for Argentina, in what a lot of people consider the greatest final ever played. But look at how these numbers stack up. Qatar had 32 teams playing 64 matches in just one host country over 29 days. North America 2026 gives us 48 teams, 3 host countries, and spans a huge 39 days. That is 40 extra games of World Cup football and 10 extra days of action. Basically, everything is bigger, everything is more, and the stakes are absolutely higher than ever. Which brings us to the new format, essentially a total redesign of the Cup. So how exactly does a 48-team tournament work mechanically? It's kind of like a giant puzzle. The 48 teams are split into 12 groups of 4 teams each. Every team battles in 3 matches during the group stage. As usual, the top 2 teams from each group automatically advance. But here is the major twist. The 8 best third-place teams also qualify. So if your team stumbles early, your tournament isn't necessarily over. This means 32 teams total enter the knockout stage. And that introduces an entirely new phase of the tournament, the brand new round of 32. Before we even get to the traditional round of 16, we have this extra knockout round, meaning more sudden death jeopardy, more drama, and vastly more opportunities for massive bracket-busting upsets. And this expansion naturally means way more representation across the globe. Europe takes the lion's share with 16 spots. Africa gets a very strong 9 spots, and Asia receives 8. South America is guaranteed 6 spots, and CONCACAF, which covers North and Central America, gets 6 spots. And that, importantly, includes the automatic qualification of our 3 host nations. Finally, Oceania is guaranteed 1 spot. It really is a truly global distribution of talent. All right, let's talk about the hosts and the superstars. Where are we playing and who are we watching? Over these 39 days, the action is going to be spread out across 16 iconic cities. The logistics of pulling this off are incredible. In the US, we're looking at massive stadiums in Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, Miami, Houston, and Seattle. Up in Canada, the beautiful cities of Toronto and Vancouver will host the world. And down in Mexico, the incredibly football-crazy cities of Mexico City and Guadalajara will bring their unbelievable passion to the tournament. It all officially kicks off on June 11th. The opening match? Mexico versus South Africa. And it's happening at the legendary Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. I really want to pause on this for a second because it is historic. When the referee blows the whistle on this match, Estadio Azteca will officially become the first stadium ever to host matches in 3 different World Cups. It's literally hollowed ground for football fans, and it is just the perfect place to start this massive tournament.
And if you're following the U.S. team, you won't have to wait long for them to enter the fray. The very next day, June 12th, the United States opens their campaign against Paraguay. This is happening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right in Inglewood, California, at the state-of-the-art SoFi Stadium. You can absolutely guarantee that the home crowd is going to be electric.
But look, a World Cup isn't just about massive stadiums, right? It's about the absolute legends on the pitch. You'll be watching global superstars fighting for their countries. Look out for France's Kylian Mbappe, who is coming back incredibly hungry after losing that thrilling 2022 final. We finally get to see Norway's absolute goal machine, Erling Haaland, testing himself on the World Cup stage. You've got the electric Vinicius Jr. playing for a Brazil side desperate to return to glory. And of course, Christian Pulisic, carrying America's hopes on his shoulders in front of a roaring home crowd. Every single one of them wants that one trophy.
Moving on to the tournament schedule, let's map out this path to glory.
Here is your roadmap for the summer of 2026. From June 11th to the 27th, we've got the grueling group stage where all 48 teams fight for survival. Then, June 28th to July 2nd, we enter that highly anticipated brand new round of 32. If you manage to survive that, it's the round of 16 from July 3rd to the 6th. The quarterfinals hit on July 9th and 10th, and then the massive semifinal clashes take place on July 14th and 15th at AT&T Stadium in Dallas and Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. If you fall just short, the third-place match happens July 18th down in Miami.
But the whole shebang culminates right here. July 19th, 2026, the final. It'll be held at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, right here in America. Out of 48 teams and 104 matches, it all comes down to 90 minutes on this pitch, where a single champion will be crowned on top of the world. So 48 teams, 104 matches, 39 days of non-stop action, and it is literally kicking off in just 48 hours. We're going to cover every single match, preview, prediction, and post-match breakdown right here in this Explainer series, including tomorrow's deep dive into the USA versus Paraguay matchup. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing. I'll leave you with this provocative question to chew on. With more teams, more jeopardy, and an entirely new knockout round, who will survive the 104-match gauntlet?